Hey everyone, this is my tutorial on how to solo a 10-man Ruby Sanctum, where the last boss is Halion, and I should say the one and only boss that actually gives you any loot, because even though when you zone in you'll see 3 mini-bosses, they don't drop anything. Well, I'm sure they do, but they don't drop anything for me ever. But first thing you're going to notice as soon as you zone in is that there are 2 main ways you can go, either left or right, and that there is a ton of ads everywhere. It's up to you which way you pick. If you go left, you'll be fighting Baltharius. If you go right, you'll be fighting Ragefire. Either way, you're going to have to kill both of them to progress to the 3rd boss, to then progress to the last boss, so it doesn't really matter. Pick a side and go. I personally go left because I hate Baltharius, because when I was 85 trying to do this on my Shaman solo, I couldn't actually progress any further because I couldn't kill him. I could kill Ragefire, but I couldn't kill him. Even though we're 90 at this point and this dungeon is a level 80 raid, I won't lie. I do actually sometimes panic. I do actually sometimes die. I think even in this I actually died, but I'm going to cut that out. But if you're too cocky about things, you will die. I'm not gonna lie to you. They still, for some reason, hit you like a truck. I just want to say though, in this video, for some reason, I have defensive stance on, and that's not what you want to do. I do notice, a little bit further on that I had it, and I was kind of thinking like, oh, like crap, why did I have that on? I don't know how that happened. I must have actually just misclick somehow, but yeah, don't have a defensive stance on it. Actually, as much as you would think that benefits you, it doesn't. It made things a lot harder. So the main thing with this dungeon raid, why do I keep calling it a dungeon? The main thing with this raid is you need to know how to survive. And as long as you know how to love, I know you'll stay. Sorry, but you need to know how to survive. You need to know how your class. You need to, you need to know how your class works, where your oh shit buttons are. Sorry for my language. But you also just need to know where your threshold is of where you feel comfortable getting your health down to, and just knowing when to use, like die by the sword, and just demoralizing batter and all that kind of fun stuff. You need to know when your character needs to do it. I can't tell you when you got to do it. I can only tell you when I do it. So I can't really help you with that, but hopefully by this stage, if you've been following all my other tutorials, you'll know by now like where you can get your health to before you need to do anything. But anyway, going back to the actual raid itself, when you encounter Baltharius, the reason I haven't really spoke much on it is because he doesn't do anything. He's a tank and spank kind of fight. At 50% he'll clone himself into 2, but otherwise there's no other mechanics. There's nothing. There's nothing interesting about him. He just does that. It's the same with Ragefire. She does a few little, annoying moves, kind of like a conflag and things like that, but most of these mini raid bosses, it's really just about surviving. If you can just survive the damage that they put out, and I know that sounds stupid, you're probably like, well, duh, of course I need to survive her damage, but you'll do enough damage yourself. But it's just that she can do, or all of them, like I just say she, like he and she can do enough damage to kind of put you in a position where you die. And as I said, like, I still do die. As much as I'm giving you a tutorial, I do die. But anyway, on to the main part of this raid, which is Halion, or Halion. I'm probably saying the name wrong. This is a 3-phase fight, and unlike some of the other ones where even though, there might be 3 or 4 phases, you only kind of spend like half a second in them, this one you will actually go through the 3 phases and have to actually spend a little bit of time in them. So phase 1 is in the physical realm, where Halion is just going to do a general, I'm not really sure actually, we'll do the general, dragon-esque attacks. We'll do the cleave, we'll do the fire breath, things like that. The main thing here is to use all your damaging moves and try and do as much burst damage as you can to push them into the next phase. As with most dragon fights, avoid the fire on the ground. That should be a given by now. I shouldn't have to tell you that, even though I stood in it for quite a while, but you should avoid it yourself. after a while, like, Halion's going to disappear and go off to the Shadow Realm, and you'll get a portal to go into there. Hopefully your portal doesn't spawn where mine did, where I actually had to kind of like move myself around to try and click into it because it decided to drop it inside a thing of fire. So that was a bit awkward. But anyway, inside the Shadow Realm, one of the things you're going to have to look out for is, as you'll see on the screen, there's kind of like an orb kind of floating around. Now, there's actually one either side of me, but you only kind of need to keep your eye on one, because what's going to happen is the two are going to connect and make a giant beam. If you're standing in that, you won't survive it. Even though you're 90, as I said, some of these mechanics still do hit quite a lot, and that is one of them. So just keep an eye out from where the orbs are and start moving the boss around in a circle. Just make sure that you're not going to get hit by it. You don't have to like continually keep moving. Once you've done the fight a couple of times, you'll kind of know when the beam's going to go off. But if as long as you keep your eye out and be ready to move, as soon as you see that beam, you should be fine to kind of leave her still and then shift her around. Now, this is where people get a bit confused when they start seeing the message which pops up saying, without pressure in both realms, Halion begins to regenerate. Now, this is phase 3, so if you already start seeing this message, you've flown through phase 2 and you're already into the end part. Now, you can do this both ways. You can go back into the physical realm and attack Halion. You can stay in the Shadow Realm and attack Halion, or you can continually port in and out of the two using the portals as you'll see either side. Now, I just stay in the Shadow Realm for the simple fact of, in the physical realm, you have to avoid like lava on the ground and there's fire everywhere, and you just kind of have to move too much, and I just don't like it. So I stay in the Shadow Realm, and all I have to do is avoid the orbs. Now, even though he keeps bringing up this message, like, without pressure on both sides, on both realms, like, Halion begins to regenerate, you'll be doing enough damage that won't even matter if they're trying to regenerate, because you're doing more damage than they're healing. If anything, this fight, this whole process is going to take you a little bit longer if your damage is a little bit lower. But it is possible, and the boss will never regenerate more, like that. It will never become full health or anything like that. You have about, I think, 8 to 10 minutes to do this fight before Enrage does happen, and that's usually a game over. But I have a feeling if you just stay in the one realm, you should be fine. But as I said, if you want to try the process of jumping in and out of realms, as soon as it says, Halion's regenerating from the other realm, you can port out, hit her there, things like that. But hopefully that works for you. And but as I said, this whole raid is really dependent on survivability. So good luck with that, and I will see you all soon. Bye!